911 Global Meds Disclaimer. This video and any contents herein are posted on this YouTube channel of 911 Globe Meds for informational and educational purposes only. Please see the detailed video contents disclaimer and the copyright disclaimer in the text section below.
Hello, my name is Ruben Mesa and I'm one of the hematologists at the Mayo Clinic in Arizona, and I'm joined by my colleague Dr. Christina Gowan, who also focuses on myeloproliferative neoplasms. Christina, welcome.
Thank you.
So this video will serve as our video abstract for our manuscript regarding the use of pomalidomide and its potential implications for therapy in myelofibrosis. This for the Journal of Therapeutics and Clinical Risk Management. Now, in patients with myelofibrosis, anemia can be a major challenge, and hence the discussion on pomalidomide. Christina, how big is an issue is anemia for patients with myelofibrosis?
Anemia can be a major issue for patients afflicted with myelofibrosis, with effects such as shortness of breath, fatigue, really having a really important symptom impact on these patients. Ruxolitinib offers improvement in disease-related symptoms, splenomegaly, and even overall survival, but unfortunately, the therapeutic impact is limited in patients with myelofibrosis given the lack of impact in cytopenias.
Now, pomalidomide is a medication that is an immunomodulatory drug and is one of a family that included thalidomide and lenalidomide. In the manuscript, we review the trials of thalidomide alone and with prednisone, as well as lenalidomide, that both demonstrated activity in improving anemia in patients with myelofibrosis, limited ability to improve issues such as splenomegaly. Now, both of these agents had toxicity issues. Thalidomide can lead to neuropathy. Lenalidomide can lead to myelosuppression and GI toxicity. Pomalidomide began testing in myelofibrosis with hopefully a more favorable safety profile and more activity against TNF-alpha, which was felt to be a potentially important target in the anemia. In the manuscript, we reviewed the phase 1 and phase 2 studies that helped to demonstrate that pomalidomide was active in patients with myelofibrosis. It could improve anemia, and that even low doses of pomalidomide could be efficacious. We then go on to discuss the phase 3 study, the RESUME study, in which there was activity seen with pomalidomide versus placebo. However, this did not reach statistical significance. Now, this is for a variety of different potential reasons. Christina, thoughts on, we'd seen this drug have activity in earlier studies, and in the larger study, it did not quite reach statistical significance. Thoughts on why that might have been?
Well, you know, looking at all of these different clinical studies, the endpoints were somewhat different, looking at different criteria. And so I certainly think that played an impact in looking at the different outcomes that are seen within these clinical trials.
I think an important observation in that in the phase 3 study with pomalidomide, only kind of the worst of the worst patients were included in terms of the severity of the anemia. Only patients with severe transfusion dependence. And this may well have had an impact in that the earlier studies that had response rates closer to 40% included individuals that were anemic but were not severely transfusion dependent. And this may represent a spectrum in terms of the severity of the anemia, but also the ability of the activity as an immunomodulatory drug to overcome some of that challenge. So an important agent, an agent now approved in the therapy of multiple myeloma, and is the subject of ongoing clinical trials in combination with JAK inhibitor therapy. So we may well have not have heard the last of pomalidomide in myelofibrosis, and it continues to represent a very active class of agents, the immunomodulatory drugs in myelofibrosis. We hope you will find the manuscript interesting and enlighten your practice. Christina, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mesa.